Hey everyone, welcome back. So one of the things that I always make sure I save out macros for pretty much every day is my dessert. I love to make like a basically ice cream with Greek yogurt, and I've recently tweaked mine a little bit and I wanted to share that with you tonight because it is delicious. Give it a try. You absolutely will not be disappointed. So let's get started. All right, the first and main ingredient is Greek yogurt. I use, Members Mark. It is just non-fat, plain Greek yogurt. I suppose if you want vanilla or something, you can. That's up to you and your macros you choose. So I'm going to add 300 grams-ish. And I have discovered over experience with doing this that it is easier to just put my blender right on the scale and measure directly in. And I just make sure it's the first one in case I'm a little off. I can scoop some out if needed. As long as it's the first ingredient and there's not a bunch of other stuff in there. But I have done it this way because it is the least likely to get all over. I have a Ninja, so I've got the blade, I guess, thing in the middle, and it's kind of a pain when I put it in a bowl first and trying to scoop it in there. Also, then I miss some from the bowl. And see how easy that was? I did a little bit over and I just scooped it right back out. So, Greek yogurt is our first ingredient. Next, I'm going to add, just set that out of the way, some I'm going to use unsweetened coconut milk. And I'm going to do a half of a serving, so a half cup or 120 milliliters. And I go ahead and just weigh that out. And by the way, grams and milliliters on the scale, they're interchangeable. But you can use almond milk if you want. You can use skim milk. If you want to actually reduce the calories of this even further, you can really just use water. So this one I've got to be a little more careful. You could, of course, weigh out ahead and then dump it in another container, but I like to use as least as possible. All right, 119, that's close enough. I'm not gonna fuss over and try and go over. So then I'm just gonna, this is just water, that's it. And I'm not gonna tear the scale. I'm gonna leave it at my 120, 119, whatever. And then I'm gonna top it off to bring it 400-ish, 400 grams is what I have found for the thickness that I like. If you play with it and you wanna add a little more water, a little, leave it out. If you want it super, super thick, because I have forgotten to add the water, turns out totally fine. It's just very thick. Sometimes thick's good. All right, we're gonna go with 411. That's close enough. Okay, then I have everything else already, everything else measured out, just for ease. So we'll just push the scale aside. The next thing that I'm gonna add is the protein powder. In this particular dessert, I like using the Quest, and it is a whey casein blend, and it's the vanilla milkshake flavor. You of course can use whatever you want. I think a whey blend would probably work just straight whey protein would work fine as well. But this just happens to taste really good. And I'm gonna do 1 serving of protein, and for this brand and flavor, it is 31 grams. So already weighed out, in my little cup here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle in my blender. Sorry, I know the tapping is on the ears. All right, next ingredient is, which this is what I have tweaked recently, and it adds so much more flavor, and it makes a creamier, more ice creamy type texture, as opposed to like more of just kind of like an ice milk texture, I guess. But I'm gonna use tonight, it's Jello, by the way, instant pudding, sugar-free, fat-free, mainly because then it's gonna have a hell of a lot less calories. So my flavor that I've picked for this one is the white chocolate, which is really, really yummy. I've also used pistachio, which is fabulous as well. And plain old chocolate is great. All of these are sugar-free, fat-free. Okay, and I have vanilla that I have not tried, but I'm sure would be delicious as well. Also, cheesecake. That's a good one too. So the white chocolate, cheesecake, and pistachio are probably my favorite in it. But tonight we're going with white chocolate, which is already in here. Along with, I've already measured in here as well, is our next ingredients, which I add 9 grams total of either or both. Put that down before I spill something. Of Guar gum and Xanthan gum. Doesn't really matter what brand you prefer, whatever. These are just what I have because I shop Amazon a lot. So I do about 9 grams. I like a blend, so I do 4 to 5 grams of each one. Kind of whatever I measure first gets 5, usually Guar gum, and then 4 to top it off for Xanthan gum. But I don't feel like these are a necessity in this because the pudding actually gives it a lot of thickness too. I just didn't remove them when I wanted to try adding the pudding because I had them in my dessert previously, and what they do is they actually add a lot of bulk to it. So even if you don't have the pudding in there and you have your xanthan or your Guar gum, it's gonna really kind of fluff it out and add a lot, you know, basically give you more. It feels like to me anyways, and that's why I really like it. So anyways, just added the pudding, xanthan gum, and Guar gum in. And then lastly is frozen strawberries. You can use any frozen fruit you want. Sorry. This is all I have is the Member's Mark sliced strawberries, sliced frozen strawberries. I like strawberries in it because they're very strong flavor. It adds a lot. It really sweetens it naturally. But I've also used blueberries, which are really good in it as well. I did 200 grams, by the way, of the sliced frozen strawberries, which is a serving on that particular one. If I use blueberries, I also do a serving, and it's slightly less. I'd have to look at the package again. But you could add more if you wanted, or less. If you want to really reduce calories even further, if you're in, you know, prep, whatever, you could even substitute. I've done with the pistachio pudding, I've done just ice instead of frozen fruit, and it was good too. It just doesn't have quite as creamy of a texture, so it will change that a little bit. In the blender, in mine anyways, I tend to get just teeny tiny little pieces of ice still, whereas I have found that the frozen fruit in place of ice blends better, and it makes it a lot creamier. So, but when I'm reducing calories, I absolutely, that's one of the things that goes is kick the fruit out and just put ice in. You still get, you know, your bulk in it, and still tastes delicious. So that's all that's gonna go in here. I am gonna blend it, and I will probably just come back. Hopefully I can figure out how to edit this. And you don't have to listen to my blender. But I'm gonna do, make sure the lid's on, they're really good. I like to blend it for anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes, because with the xanthan gum and the Guar gum in there, the longer you blend, it kind of get, I shouldn't say that completely. I don't know. I've never done it for 10, 20 minutes. I don't know. It could turn into a liquid mess. But I have found about 3 to 5 minutes is what I like, because it actually that length of blending expands it more. So if you were just to do it kind of quickly and do like 30 seconds or something, it's not going to kind of fluff out as much. So be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Once blending is done, this is what we have. Yum, yum. So this whole blender full is less than 450 calories, as is. Now you could reduce that, like I said, even by substituting fruit with ice, and or the coconut milk with even almond milk, or cashew milk is even a little less, or water. You can also add extra things into, you know, chocolate chips, which I have done when I've had enough. Oh, actually one thing that is a great tip anyways, and I meant to get out ahead of time. When I need fat and that I'm low on for the day, these are a great thing to add. They're cocoa nibs. So they've actually got 11 grams of fat in 28 grams for a serving. And so once in a while, when that's what I need, is I'll add a little of that. Coconut oil is great for that as well. But those taste great in here too, or just, you know, mini chocolate chips. Sometimes I'll add that. And another thing that I like to add on mine, that I actually do every night, I love, love, love Walden Farms products. I love their dressings. And then this one is marshmallow dessert dip. So it is delicious on top. I'll usually put just a couple spoonfuls and spread it along the top of mine. And that's it. So you can of course add chocolate chips, you can add graham crackers, some cookies if you had it and wanted it. Really anything that you can think of. If you do, if you give it a try, let me know. And if you do any kind of variations, if you give whey protein by itself a try, you know, let me know what you think. So I'm going to continue scooping this in here. Let me show you the texture real quick. As is, you could absolutely eat it just like this, and it is delicious. I'm going to finish scooping it out of my blender, which is kind of a pain in the ass, and I won't have you watch that whole thing. But once I do, and I have my bowl full, I'm going to put it in the freezer for a bit while I shower, get my dinner things, because I like mine a little bit more frozen, more of an ice cream texture. Sometimes I leave it in there a little too long, and then you can always just set it on the counter and let it thaw for a bit. But yeah, however you prefer to enjoy it, hope that you give it a try, and let me know what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will try and get more content out, and a like would be phenomenal, and comment if you would like, and let me know what you'd like to see or anything else if you give it a try. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching. Again, here it is. And look, I haven't even finished scooping it all out. Okay, so there's a lot here for less than 450 calories, and it tastes amazing. All right, hope you'll give it a try. Thanks.